Bukayo Saka needs help. Look, I'm the first one that'll be cheering on Arsenal's downfall, but objectively speaking, Bukayo Saka has been excellent throughout the season and desperately needs help. This was the season Arsenal were to make that next step, make the jump, hope that City might have an off year and try and capitalize. And guess what? City are having a torrid time. Pep has scratch marks all over his face. Look, you never want to write off City, only a fool would, but they do have three teams in really good nick ahead of them. And Arsenal are in a rough spot here in the league. What do you mean? Because they're third in the league, but they're 2 points behind Chelsea. And despite City's horrid run, they're just 2 points behind Arsenal. And that's not even bringing the title talk into picture, where they're 6 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand for Liverpool. This was supposed to be that year 5 of the process, of the project. And Arteta is a good coach. Defensively, he's built a really strong, powerful, mean team to play against. But going forward, their recruitment has been subpar, and it is the academy boy Bukayo Saka doing all the heavy lifting. Saka played 90 minutes again, midweek, 3-0, no rest. But fair play to Saka, though. He has shouldered that responsibility. He is their focal point, their point of reference. And when Arsenal are looking for a solution on the pitch, he is their guy. I don't really like bringing stats to the discussion, but Saka has 10 assists, and the next best in the team have 2 each in Rice and Odegaard. Against Monaco, it was all Saka in terms of production, and that was nearly the case against Fulham as well, where they dropped 2 crucial points. Shut Saka down, have him followed, and Arsenal in open play are struggling. It's easier said than done to having to shut down Saka, but having to commit 2 or 3 players on him, and that tactic seems to be working. But fair play to Arsenal and the brain trust, as they have found a productive way to goal via corners. They are deadly with their routine, delivery, and how they attack the ball. But this is not a title-winning attack, though. Title-winning defense? Sure, but to put it into context, Chelsea have conceded 3 less, and the defense with Rob Sanchez can be pointed out as a source of weakness. But the attack is lackluster, to say the least. Havertz, Martinelli, Jesus, Trossard, and Sterling. That's not enough. Not in terms of numbers, but in terms of quality. With Sterling, you can see exactly why Chelsea were happy, more than happy. Take him, pay him to play for Arsenal. But in fairness, you can't see that because he doesn't get minutes. Arteta does not trust him. He might get a few minutes as the season goes on, but Arsenal need to make a move in Jan to add some much needed firepower that they're clearly lacking. But Arsenal historically do not pull the trigger in Jan. I can remember Trossard on the top of my head was as a stopgap signing in January, and in the previous summer recruits aren't really cutting the mustard. Earlier it was Jesus, £40 million, 250k a week, who started brilliantly for the first couple of months, but since then has fallen off a cliff. A clear liability in attack. A really nice footballer, but when you need someone with that cutting edge, he isn't the guy, and the same goes with Kai Havertz. I try to be as unbiased about Kai Havertz as possible, having seen 3 years of him, every game in a Chelsea shirt, but I know, and Arsenal will find out soon enough though, that he isn't the guy to lead your attack to the big prizes. But he is their 65 million, 290k a week marquee centre forward. But Arsenal and Arteta did not buy him to play centre forward. He was bought as a Xhaka replacement, and that failed miserably. Arteta had to persevere with him in that left-hand side centre midfield role till about December last season, before realizing that he had to stick him up front and shut down that experiment altogether. Look, like Jesus, he is an excellent footballer with great technique and attributes, but these two lack those minerals, that goal-scoring gene in them. Jesus has 20 goals for Arsenal, period, and Havertz, while he has those bursts where he does find the back of the net, especially at home, away from home, he is not a reliable striker. Even though he has had that early season flourish, he can't seem to score when it really matters for Arsenal. So that's two strikers, over 100 million in transfer fees, nearly 500k a week in wages. Neither have shown that they can hit that 20 goal mark individually, and collectively have 5 goals in the league between them, all courtesy of Havertz. So if you are an Arsenal brain trust player, and if you're looking at the likes of Isak or Sheshko or Gyökeres, they will need to make a ruthless decision, and that's easier said than done considering the wages that Havertz and Jesus are on. Along with that centre forward issue though, Arteta has a left wing problem too. Trossard was bought as a stopgap, and fair play to him when he used to come off the bench and contribute with clutch goals, but those have long dried up. Even though he does chip in with the odd goal, his general play is a hindrance to how Arsenal wants that left hand side to function. He is more effective as that sub, but that goal scoring touch has deserted him. And the same can be said about Martinelli. There is a visible decline with the Brazilians, and that stats will back me up. He is someone who likes to make those darting runs into the box and hit it with one or two touch, but now he's having to pick up the ball deeper, and there is a real struggle in terms of beating his man. There was an instance against Manchester United where he was 1v1 against Harry Maguire, and he did not take him on, didn't even try. And it's no surprise that teams leave that left hand side wide open and focus on the right hand side of Saka and Urian Timber. Martinelli has 6 goals in the league last season, and he has just 3 so far, and it's further highlights and gives enough proof that there is a heavy over reliance of Saka and set pieces.